have taken your dreams and your creativity hostage. If you want to see it again, you will follow my instructions very closely. I have one demand: attach our coordinates to a quinceañera that must be recorded. You might not have your creativity, but you have your knowledge. You will need to capture the energy of the event and the motion from beginning to end. Failure to do so will result in, well, let's not say I like surprises. Once you are finished, I will review it. If it meets my standards, you are to inform everyone watching how it was done. Then, and only then, will I restore your dreams and your creativity. You have 3 hours, starting now.
Oh, man. What a horrible dream. Oh. What the? Okay.
Again, you will follow my instructions very closely. I have one demand:
It's even
attach
playing on my
our
screen.
coordinates to a quinceañera that must be recorded.
I made this. Alright, should be everything.
I know, and I have taken it.
It's on here too. Alright, we'll just go. Let's just go. Guess we're here. Time to go. I won't be recording anything without this. So I will see you after.
Heart beats fast, colors and promises. How to be brave? How can I love when I'm afraid to fall? But watching you stand alone, all of my doubt suddenly goes away somehow. One step closer. I have died every day waiting for you, darling. Don't be afraid. I've loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. Time stands still, beauty in all she is. I will be brave. I will not let anything take away. Standing in front of me, every breath, every hour has come
So I guess Elle liked my video enough that I get to talk to you now. So that's a good thing for me. It was very stressful. I think it turned out better than I thought though, because that was actually my first event. So I had never actually done a wedding or a quinceañera or anything like that. And I'm happy with how it turned out. It was my first time flying solo. So, I mean, I was taking pictures and recording the whole event. I was there for 8 hours, and that was difficult. But that kind of leads into what I wanted to talk about today, which is the things that I learned, and hopefully pass it on to you guys so maybe you can not make the same mistakes I did. So, number 1, have your gear ready. That would be the first thing that I'd recommend to you guys. Don't bring things that are fiddly, like I brought my Steadicam. I haven't had much practice with the Steadicam. These are one of those things that, well, you need practice for them to work good. I don't have that. And I was constantly changing my lenses out, and every time that I changed my lens, I had to rebalance it, and I'm not actually that good at balancing this thing, so I didn't actually use it in the event. So it was just extra gear that I brought around and had to carry around for nothing. And remember to bring the things that you don't think you're going to need. For me, I actually had the light that I made fall during the event, and it got bent up, and it didn't hit anybody, thankfully. But things like sandbags would be a really good thing to have, or even tape or clips of some sort so you can actually secure your equipment down. You might not think you need it, but it's best to have it and turn out you didn't need it and need it and not have it, you know? Tip number 2 would be to have somebody actually come help. Shooting a whole event by yourself is rather difficult, especially if you're trying to cover 2 different fields, which isn't recommended, especially if you're covering 2 different genres of photography or visual arts, however you want. You can't be taking pictures at the same time that you're recording an event. Sure, you can flip back and forth between the modes. You know, you could shut off record, stop recording, and then take a picture, and then press record again. You might miss a important part that you could be recording. So tip number 3, try to get everybody acting natural. You don't want everybody posing for the pictures, or if you're taking video, you don't want them to be acting goofy or something like that when they're not normally that person. You want to capture them in the normal element, which is a lot easier said than done, because not everybody's comfortable with the camera. Heck, I'm not even comfortable with it yet, and I'm in 8 videos now, and I'm still not comfortable talking to it 100%. It comes with time, and a lot of people don't have the experience that it requires to get used to it. And everybody's been taught to take pictures with a smiling face or to always look at the camera, and that's not necessarily what you want when you're in an event. You want to capture the emotion, the feeling of the event. You don't want to capture everybody putting on a facade. So my suggestion would be a telephoto lens. You can stand back away from the people and shoot people from across the room, and they don't even know you're there. So they're acting completely natural, talking, joking, doing whatever they do. Now that doesn't mean you can't go around and take pictures of people up close. You really should. Kind of play a game with them or explain to them. If you take just like 30 seconds and explain, hey, I'm here to just record everybody being here and having fun, and my job is to make you look as good as you possibly can. Generally, people are on board with it, and they'll just kind of forget you're there. Now, if that doesn't work and you come across somebody that's extra shy, what I was having them do was you have them look down at the floor and then look up at you.
Look at your man. Now back to me.
And that brief second before they kind of focus in on you, you kind of catch their face at a very natural look. Tip number 4, when you get to the event, scope the area out. Figure out the areas that are going to be the best for pictures, the areas that you want to actually set up in, where you want to put your camera gear that's going to be safe so nobody actually steals it. And then once you get that all in your head, go around and do establishing shots of the event. Get outside at a wide angle lens and try to capture the yard, the grass or trees or water or whatever it is that's there, and then go inside of the venue and try to grab pictures and video of everything inside of there. Now you might be saying, how do I know what looks good? Well, the trick I was using is take your camera and point it down at the ground and focus in on the floor, and then lift it up, and when everything's out of focus, you move it around and you can actually see things that would make a good background if you had somebody in the picture. So if you imagine them being in focus here, everything behind it's blurry. Basically, you're looking for contrasts of colors and light and everything like that. While the event's going on, get B-roll, because you can never have enough. You think you have enough? Now do more and double it, triple it. I could have done with some more B-roll in my clips, but even that being said, I thought at the time I had enough video. And I finished the night off with over 1,100 pictures and then 200 individual video clips, and I ended up cutting it out. You end up with maybe a quarter of what you actually record or photograph. And tip number 5, and this one could actually be the most important one that I'm going to give to you, or that I experienced, was when you agree to do an event, make sure that you sit down and you talk to them and ask them when things are going on. You need an itinerary of the event, so that way you know if they're cutting a cake, what side of the cake they're going to be standing on, their first dance, what would be the area that they're going to be dancing in, at what times everything's going to be starting. And if you don't know where you need to set up, if you need lights, if you're going to need different equipment, cameras, lenses, whatever, you need to know exactly when, so that way you can start prepping for each special time during the event. That way you can convey the moment and capture it as it truly is, instead of having to rush around, fight with people to get in a spot. See, I didn't have that. It was just kind of happening. So I would be over there taking pictures or recording, and all of a sudden the lights would go out, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? I'm running around trying to figure out, and finally I hear that there's a dance going on, or they're going to be cutting a cake, and no one told me. I didn't know to ask in the beginning either, so I'd have to rush. I'd have the wrong lens. It still turned out good. I made it work, but best to be prepared for those situations. Talk to them, clarify, hey, where can I stand, and have them set out an area for you that's actually like just for you. For me, I didn't have that. I was told that there was going to be a dance in the, where they were going to be dancing, and I was told the best spot for me would be on the far side by the DJ. I was like, cool. So I went over there and I started setting up and recorded, got everything ready. Once I got set up and started recording, everybody started crowding around me in front of the camera, blocking my view. So I had to push my way through all these people, set up, and then I was getting pushed into the back and actually getting pushed out to the dance floor and getting kicked and bumped and all that kind of stuff. It was terrible. Tip number 6, know who all the important people are. You don't want to be running around wasting time taking pictures of people that nobody even knows, or friends that nobody's seen in a long time. You want to know all the, who's the parents, who the grandparents are, aunts, uncles, immediate family. So that way you can really focus on them. Now that doesn't mean don't take pictures of everybody else. You want to have a whole spectrum, but you definitely want to have your focus on the important people, especially, which it should be given, but who the person of honor is in the event would be a really important thing to know as well. Tip number 7, be professional, but don't forget to have fun. You're actually at a party, an event. For me, I got caught up in just doing my work. Like, I was running around like a madman. 1, because it was my first event, and that's always super stressful for any event photographer or videographer. And I was doing both, so I was freaking out. 2 is professionalism looks good, but if the event allows it, the event kind of feels like it's not so formal, then have a little fun. Talk to people, especially talk to the other people at the venue. So DJs, caterers, cleaners, talk to them and be friendly with them, as well as the other guests, because the more people you're friendly with, the more you talk to other people and build up a reputation, and hey, they say that guy's real nice, or girl, then they'll actually be more likely to recommend you. If there's an event that comes up, they might throw something your way because, well, you were nice to them, you talked to them, you were actually a person instead of a machine that goes around and records stuff. Same thing goes for the people there. Actually, while I was at the event, I ended up getting another 2 quinceañeras. Be professional, but just lighten up and have fun as well, and your work will show it. Hopefully this was helpful, guys. I know that it was helpful for me. I learned a ton, and I had a lot of fun doing it. It was my niece's 16th, and I was able to give her something that she'll remember in the future. I also slipped a message into this video. Did you catch it? You should let me know. Let me know if you caught it down below. Yep. And while you're there, you should smash that like button, throw me a subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell icon. It helps me out a ton and lets you know whenever I make a new video. Plus, check out my Instagram. You'll love it. It is finally starting to grow, so I would love it if you guys came and joined me in that community. But, as always, guys, stay creative and do the things you love.
Well done. I've given back your dreams and your creativity. Remember, I'm always around, and I will get in your way. You mustn't let me do so to truly live. Don't give up. You will win. Never forget that. Life.